Welcome back. I hope you have created your house, which was the last exercise, and had your queries all addressed by the person who's there to help you out. So today's objective is to look at the different options that are available to format a shape. So one thing you know that you can add colors to the different objects, which is one way of formatting. What else can you do with the objects and with the colors is what we're going to see. So if you right click any object and you get something called as format shape. So click on that and you will have a tab open up which contains all the formatting options for the shape that you have selected. Let's start with the fill. So the first one is for the fill. The second one is for adding effects like shadows, reflections, etc. And the third one talks about its size, the positioning and things like that. So let's see one by one. Now if I just go on explaining each one by one, I thought it might be a little cumbersome or a little boring, and so I thought I'll make it interesting. So that is why we're going to beautify this house with all the options that we have in the format shape toolbar. So first is the fill. So as you know, I can remove the fill or I can give a solid fill, and to get more colors, these are where the colors are. Apart from the colors that are here, if you want more colors, you can go to the more color option here and you will find the standard where you can get more colors. You can choose any of the colors from here. Then you have the gradient fill. Okay, what is a gradient fill? There are some presets here already, and let's look into detail as to what a gradient fill is. So there are 4 types here. Let me choose linear. And by default, I see there are 3 colors that are chosen. So it is possible to remove. Let me explain it with 2 colors first. Just click on that one of the tabs there and click on this X button, and that gets removed. It's possible for you to choose a different color. So right now I have selected this tab. I'm choosing a color, let's say blue, and I'm choosing this one, and let's say I choose a color not blue. Let me say I'll choose a color here, and accordingly the color changes here. Now let's build up a story. How are we going to beautify this house? Let's say we have a sun on the left hand side and the sun is shining on the house. So let's give a gradient effect for all the glasses, and let's add some shadows, and let's give some depth to this house, and add some clouds, and that way we will be able to beautify the house. And as we do it, let's also explore all the options that are available. Now the sun is usually orange or yellowish in color, so let me choose orange here, and the other one, let me choose a yellow color here. Alright, so we have it like this. Now what are the type of gradients that we have to give? So right now we have linear selection, so which means if you see the orange is at the leftmost corner right now, it's possible to change it to the top, or you can change it to the rightmost corner, or you can change it to the left side completely, or you can change it to the right, and you can change it similarly bottom left, bottom right. So you'll be able to choose which direction should have more of, or the orange should begin from. The next one is called radial, which is more a circular kind of it is best explained if I show that in a circle, because radial is circular, right? So if I have this, and if I choose the radial, so right now radial is chosen. So if you see, the orange comes from down, it now comes from the right hand side, and right now it is defined in the center, and now it is at the top. Okay, so it doesn't have a corner like the rectangle, so it is more, it's around the circumference is where the radial comes from. And then you have rectangular. So rectangle is much more precise, so best defined in a rectangle. So if I choose this and give a rectangle to this, you see that the orange is very prominent and there is a streak that is going to the other end. So likewise you can change all the directions. So it is the prominence of the orange color that talks about the different type of gradients that you can give. And when I give a path, what happens is so if I adjust the coloring here, you notice that you will be able to see the shape of that come out like that. So that is more like a path. Or if I should do that on a different shape, it will be much more clearer if I choose, let's say, a pentagon, and if I give this the same gradient fill, and notice there is a streak of orange going to all the corners of the shape. So that is the path. Okay, these are the different types. So mostly what we would use is the linear. Sometimes we could use the radial also, depending on the need. Okay, and also as I adjust this, the amount of gray, the amount of orange or the amount of yellow can be controlled in the gradient effect that you are using. So it is all for you to explore and see which one suits best. So for our house, what do we choose? The sun is a little whitish as well, I think. So probably I'll choose a white. It is left to you. You can choose your own colors, but I am choosing a white, and probably I'm choosing a lighter tone of orange. And the sun is on the right hand side, so probably I will choose it to come. I will choose radial, and I will choose it to come from the left hand side, something like that. Now in case you want to add another color to it, you simply have to click on that there and then choose the color that you want, and that will bring in that color into it as a gradient as well. So you can move it to have more of the blue or less of the blue. You can explore to get to know that more. So this is where you choose the color, and then the positioning of it, if you, as I'm clicking, is basically you moving this manually. So this is the positioning. This position is what it talks about. So if you want to change the position of this, you can either move it manually, or you can simply go here and give a number. Transparency, please watch the rectangle. As I increase the transparency, the color fades away. So if I give it to 0, so orange is what I've chosen, the orange becomes completely transparent. So you can adjust that as well. Alright, and brightness is how bright you want it or how dark you want it. So that is where the brightness comes into play. Okay, and rotate with shapes must be checked on all the time, because when you rotate the shape, the gradient also should move along with the shape. So if that is unchecked, right now it is coming from the bottom left, so even if you rotate it, it will be standing there itself. Okay, so that is with rotation. So that has to be checked all the time. Alright, so now I want an orange, I want a white. Yep, I'll have the white direction. I'll have it this way. Well, it's your choice. The whole idea is for you to explore and for you to see what options are available. Probably I'll fix with this. I would like to change this color. I'll go for more of yellow. Alright, I'll pick some other yellow. I'll pick maybe this color. Alright, I'm good with that. Now comes below that is the line. Okay, now we have seen the gradient. Sorry, I'll explain what that was. I selected the shape, and we saw the gradient. This is the thing, options for the line. We will see that in a line tool later when we discuss the line. Now we have, apart from green gradients, it is also possible to insert pictures into the shapes. So right now it is textures. So what are the different textures available? These are the different textures available. So if I click on this, that would be filled inside the shape. So instead, if you have a picture, you can click on it, and if you have a picture on the system, you'll be able to bring the picture also inside this particular shape. Okay, and once again, it is controlled by transparency. So if I do this, the transparency of that increases and decreases. And these things are self-explanatory, where it is positioned and how much do you want to offset. I mean, that is a little complex. Right now we do not want to go into that. Lines we will see at a later stage. Then comes pattern fill. So we have pattern fill. We're not able to see anything, so I'm going to change the color. Let's say orange, and let's say I will, orange and white. So there are different patterns that you can choose from. We can fill on the shapes. You want to alter the foreground color, background color, that is where this option comes into play. And then you have the slide background fill. So when you say slide background, the background of the slide is white in color, so it is filled itself with white. Okay, so that is as far as fill color is concerned. So you have some options with fill colors. And right now for the windows, I'm going to give it a little orange. I'm still not happy with the, oh no, not that way. Okay, I'll make this transparent. No, not happy. Alright, I'll stick with this. Then we go to the effects options. Okay, before that, I want this window color to be applied to all our windows. So instead of going to each one and doing the same thing, all I can do is Control Shift C, Control Shift V. So last time we saw Control C, Control V is copying an object and pasting an object. Similarly, you can also copy a format and paste an format. So the format of this, I'm going to copy it with Control Shift C, and I can paste it with Control Shift V. You don't have to paste it one by one. You can select all the objects and Control Shift V. My windows are ready. So I've copied the format and pasted the format on all the windows. Now for the house, the house is never this color. The house is more of a brownish color. So let me go to the colors, and I need to choose a color for my house. Probably I'll choose a brown. So more colors, and I'll choose this brown. And what you see here is the chosen color. I will be able to reduce or increase the tone of it. So this is darker. Probably this color is fine for me, and I'd say okay to that. So there is my house. Probably I'll increase the transparency. It looks too bright. Okay. Alright, there you go. Now before that, we need a sun for us to manipulate. Okay, so I'm going to introduce a sun. How do I get a sun? Now I would insist to you to go individually and see what all these shapes can do, because you already have a sun available in the shapes. You also have a moon, you also have clouds. If you're not aware of it, you would be wondering how to insert a sun, or probably recreating a sun with all the shapes that you know of. So take time to go through each of these blocks and see what are those shapes and see how they function. So there is my sun. Shift and then dragging it so that the sun remains as a circle. Alright, there I go. I have the sun. So I need to give a color to the sun. I'm going to give a gradient color to the sun. I don't want white. I'm going to keep it as orange. Probably I'll give it a little white as well. Okay, white doesn't look good. So alright, this looks good for the sun. Sun doesn't have gray color lines, so I'm going to the lines, and as all the options that are available with regard to fill is available for the line, so I could say give it a different line color, or I can remove the line also. So let me remove the line itself, so no line. So that's how the sun looks. Whatever you prefer, or if you insist on having the line and want to change the line color, this is where the option is. So probably I'll give it the orange line. No, well, I don't like it. If you like it, it is your option. I will say no fill, no line. The sun looks very flat, so I'm going to the effects. Okay, sun will not have a shadow, so we'll look into that later. Sun does not have a reflection. What would the sun have? The sun would have a glow, right? So let's give it a glow. So what does a glow do? Basically, it gives you a shading around it. These are the default ones. So I will choose a color for my glow, maybe orange. Alright, so there is a glow, and the size of the glow, I can increase the glow size a little bit, and it looks too orangish, so I'll decrease the transparency of it. Okay, somewhere like that. Okay, I have a rotating option, so probably, okay, it looks flat, so maybe I can add a little depth to my sun. So I'll go to the 3D formatting, and you could choose any of this. I will add